welcome. Just got this story today. On the surface it sounds just like a guy finding a lost 1950s nuclear bomb. But when he starts to describe what he found, doesn't sound like a nuclear bomb to me. Sounds more like a crashed UFO. This is the story in the guy's own words.
What I saw was a very large, about 3 to 4 meter wide disc on the ground, and as I got closer to it, I could see that it wasn't just a flat disc, but it was actually a bowl that stood about 1 meter high off the ground. And when I was flying over it, I noticed that the center of it was there was a perfectly round circle in the center, and around the center of it, there were deep bowls cut into it or molded into it all around in a pattern.
What did you think it was?
Well, at first I thought it was just a strange rock formation, but then when I realized that the bowls that were cut into it were so perfect and they couldn't be natural, so I had no idea. I thought it was maybe a UFO or some space junk or something. It's not from a ship or anything that I've ever seen before. I've been diving a long time and working on ships my whole life, so nothing that I'd ever seen before.
Now just listen to what the mainstream media put out. A commercial diver may have discovered a lost nuclear bomb off the coast of British Columbia near the Haida Gui archipelago. Sean Smirakinski was diving for sea cucumbers when he discovered a large metal device that looked a bit like a flying saucer. The Canadian Department of National Defence, DND, believes it could be the lost nuke from an American B-36 bomber that crashed in the area in 1950. The government does not believe the bomb contains nuclear material. It is sending naval ships out to the site to verify the find. Mr. Smirakinski says he came upon the device while diving off the coast of Pitt Island near Haida Gui in early October, which is near the Alaskan border with British Columbia. It was bigger than a king-size bed, perfectly flat on top with a rounded bottom and had a hole in the center just like a bagel, he told the BBC. I found something really weird, I think it's a UFO, he joked with his fellow divers once he came to shore. The area is remote, and Mr. Smirakinski says he had to wait a few days before he could go into town and find somebody who might know what it is. One of his friends, an old-timer from the area, had an idea, maybe you found that nuke they lost here in the 50s. Cold War secret. The story of the lost nuke has plagued military historians for more than half a century. In 1950, American B-36 bomber 075 crashed near British Columbia on its way to Carswell Air Force Base in Texas. The plane was on a secret mission to simulate a nuclear strike and had a real Mark IV nuclear bomb on board to see if it could carry the payload required. Several hours into its flight, its engines caught fire and the crew had to parachute to safety. Out of a 17-person crew, 5 didn't make it. The American military claims the bomb was filled with lead and TNT but no plutonium, so it wasn't capable of a nuclear explosion. The crew put the plane on autopilot and set it to crash in the middle of the ocean, but 3 years later, its wreckage was found hundreds of kilometers inland. Dirk Scepter, an aviation historian from British Columbia, says the US government searched the wreckage but couldn't find the weapon. It was a mystery to everyone, Dirk Scepter told the BBC. It was the height of the Cold War and they were just paranoid that the Russians would get a hold of it. Crew members have said they dumped the bomb in the ocean first, fearing what the payload of TNT could do on its own if it were detonated. A spokesperson for DND told the BBC the department had conferred with its American counterparts, and that the object the diver found could very well be the bomb. The American military do not believe the bomb is active or a threat to anyone, he said, but Canada is sending military ships to the site to make sure. But while the military and the diver believe they may have found a lost nuke of bomber 075, Scepter says the diver's location is totally wrong, given what we know about the plane crash. It could be anything, Scepter said. Whatever he found, it's not the nuke. Well, what do you think? UFO or nuke? Till next time. Bye.